Let's go back to normality, or at least normality for the channel as a whole. We'll talk about a locale that has been on my radar for a very long period of time prior before making the channel, and how I kind of feel like what he's trying to do has failed, and only just probably gotten worse over not the years, but over a period of time. Who is that? Nova Online. Who is Nova Online? It's a guy. I think it's a guy. And I'm not trying to be offensive when I say this, but I think it's a guy. He looks like. It looks like he. I can't explain. He looks like a girl that's trying to be a tomboy, but then he also looks like a boy that's trying to be more girly. I can't even explain it. You have to see what I'm looking at. Like, I'm not trying to be a jackass or anything, but it's like, what am I looking at? It's like. It's so bad. And even his voice, which is funny coming from me because I don't actually like my voice too much. He's something. He's something, alright. But why am I talking about Nova Online? Of all the locales I could talk about, right, that I've been covering, why am I talking about him? I want to talk about him because I think he's somebody that wants to fit in, but couldn't fit in, right? Regardless of the controversy, which I think I want to cover a lot more, he's an individual who I kind of find him sort of the opposite of King Cobra, where King Cobra does not care how what people say about him, what people think about him. He's just who he is, and people like him for that. That's why a lot of people like King Cobra, because he's just true to himself, right? He's just a bumbling idiot that people like to watch, and a lot of people support him. I've spoken about King Cobra. I've spoken about his ex-girlfriend Jessica a number of times. So to me, Nova Online is the opposite of that. Who he tries to be this cool individual that it's trying to fit in and trying to better himself, but it looks like he's trying too hard, like a try hard, and it just failed every single time. And I think it will have to do a comparison on the two. Actually, I've done about doing multiple comparison on multiple locales because that's actually interesting to see what makes each individual locale different from the last, and how they interact, how they talk, how their mannerism, and what makes them different enough where you may like this person but you dislike this person. It's very rare for most locales to be liked, or at least to be tolerated to the point of not being accepted, but just liked enough. And there's a clear difference between the two. But back to Nova Online. So where did Nova Online begin his little career? He started like in TikTok, which is basically a cesspool full of locales, right? God knows, how many people that are locales that there are on TikTok as we speak. I think the video may be dated because given the whole TikTok situation in America, and But so back to Nova, was a really stupid name, like a name that like a middle schooler would come up with, which I'll get into that, I guess. We'll get into that. Yeah, and I forgot to mention that Nova Online is in his 20s, but I didn't believe it. I didn't know he was in his, like, teenager. I thought he was a teenager. That's what I mean. The guy looks like... he looks like a tomboy. He looks like a girl trying to become a tomboy, but he looks like a guy trying to be girly, and it's just so weird. I know I'm just rambling at this point because it's been a while since I watched anything on him. I think the last time was like at least a month ago. So me covering him now, where it's like, I know like Smokey AMC and Kiwi Safe have done a great job in archiving and talking about him, with props to those boys. It's just a very not a hard thing to talk about, but it's just like, I just kind of want to yell because he's trying to fit in, right? He's like that guy who is trying to fit in within a group of people, and he gets rejected every single time because he tries too hard. And when he tried to be himself, people don't like him even more, right? And why is that? And I think it's like why I want to, why we're getting into it now, I guess. It's because he just reminds me of that kid, as I said, that he is trying to fit in with these different cliques, these different groups, and fails every single time to a point where not even the rejects in high school or in school in general will even accept him because they're like, nah, he's too much even for us, and we're the reject, the weirdos. That's who Nova Online is. He's the reject that has been rejected even by the reject. And is it sad? Yeah, I think it's sad because like I think if it wasn't for a number of things, I would have just thought of him as like, he doesn't. He's pretty harmless for a low count. I think if he just reel back a lot of things, does a lot of self reflection, he can better himself and you know be a better person, and maybe he'll finally be accepted by society or by community, right? Like again, not even the anime community would accept Nova Online, but we're getting into it now. The problem is, right, is that the man has spoken to kids, like minors. I know I gotta be careful how I say what I say on YouTube, but yeah, Nova Online has spoken to minors, and which is makes of a PDF file, and because of that, it's almost impossible to really defend him. I'm not going to defend him. I'm not going to. Any justification that anybody had for any form of sympathy for him it's gone. It's completely gone. And that's what I mean. He is the reject of the reject. He is the leftovers of the leftover. Not even like the good stuff left over that would taste good the next morning. No, the stuff that were there, it's not even good to begin with. Right? Not even that you wouldn't even feed your dog to. And that's what it's like. This is a guy that maybe if things were different, if he wasn't talking to minors, maybe his life would be better. Maybe he can have some moment of self-reflection. No. I also like to mention that he is trying to gain a lot of fame, but that has failed now. I mean, because now the fame he's getting is the opposite of what you want. Lesson of the story: don't talk to minors. Just don't. And Noah, stop acting so try hard. It's just bad, dude. You're just bad, dude. Just stop.